That's Based with Caleb Salvatore is a comedic informative production, meaning it covers serious topics in a humorous manner. Some of the opinions expressed are satirical hyperbole, some are not. Some of the content may not be suitable for all listeners. If you're easily offended, tune out now. We don't want pussy bleeding little bitches consuming our content. I have dementia and pooped my pants while visiting the Pope.
Welcome to the That's Based midweek check-in. I'm your host, as always, Caleb Salvatore. We're laughing our way through the end of days, reporting from somewhere underground. We're brought to you by Outlaw Streamers. Head on over to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more. All the shows on all the platforms. Hopefully, we're back on Spotify by the time this airs. I don't know what they're doing over there. Smoking crack or something at work. I have no idea. But share it around. We're on Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We air 3 times a week. Shout out to our sponsors, drinkbloodofTyrants.com. Blood of Tyrants wine. They have Tears of Tyrants white wine if you're gay, Blood of Tyrants red wine, and then Liquid Freedom energy drink, 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 carbs, and 0 fucks given. Again, that's drinkbloodofTyrants.com. The promo code BASED, B-A-S-E-D, like the title of the show, is going to save you 10% off your order at the checkout. I'm here with my guest, David Terrell Green. How's it going? He's done the show a couple times.
That was a lot to go through, man.
Everyone says that. I think if this doesn't work, I have a career as a career lined up as an auctioneer.
I mean, yeah, that was pretty good. Like, cause you memorize a script before you do that, or
no, off the dome.
Off the dome.
I mean, like the intro to the show, I've just repeated so many times that it's like, I mean, we have the catchphrases and tell people where to go and when we air.
Kind of like clockwork, yeah.
Yeah, and then the ad. I mean, I kind of ad lib that as long as I hit my basic points.
Yep.
And don't do anything stupid. Like the last show, I encouraged people to drink irresponsibly and told them to drive drunk, abandon their families, neglect their work responsibility. And I had
to leave their kids behind.
Yep, I had to record a disclaimer before the show, just kind of explaining, hey, this is a joke. Don't actually drink irresponsibly.
Yeah, because you know what? Like, you could have like one of those people that like actually take that as gospel.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, oh, but I listened to Caleb Salvatore, and then I got inspired to.
It wasn't even that I was worried about, because I don't think anyone's actually going to do it. My concern was all it takes is one idiot that gets a DUI and goes, well, Caleb told me to do it, and now I'm sued. And that was what I was. And Mia was like, maybe you should record a disclaimer afterwards. I would be in so much trouble if not for her. I know we joke.
Seriously,
I would be in prison.
Hey man, you know what? Hey, shout out to Mia, man.
Keeping me on the straight and narrow to some degree. She knows she can't tame the wild side 100%, but she's done a good job, and she shouldn't want to. Yeah, that's part of being a man. You know, I should have an edge to me, right?
Because you don't want her to just change who you are.
No,
because that's why she fell in love with you. For who you are.
That's exactly. They say like. My dad told me that women will get into relationships with men hoping they change, and men will get into relationships with women hoping they stay the same, and that's why they fall apart. And like when you mature to the point that you're not coming into it with that expectation, I think is when it works out.
Absolutely.
So yeah, because I mean, dude, people change a lot. Absolutely. I'm not the same person I was 3 months ago.
Man, I hope I'm not the same person that I was. Like I'm 28 now, so it's just like how I was at 28. And that's the thing I've always thought about is just like I don't want people like you know when you start getting like popular and famous and people like, oh well, you know, back when he was at this age at like 20, he said this. Yeah. And I'm like, well, bro, I was a different person. I was
20 years old. I wasn't old enough to buy a beer.
Absolutely. It's like my mind was like all over the place at 20, man. So I see the world way differently now, man. It's like time changes, man.
And it is. And that's why I feel so bad for these kids is they're growing up. I mean, we grew up with social media, but not to this degree.
Yeah.
They're growing up with social media now where everything you've ever said, thought, or done is documented with your name by it. And you get that scarlet letter everywhere you go.
Yeah.
That like every job you apply for. I mean, it's like the guy that we were talking about. This is the perfect segue.
Oh, yeah, sure.
The AI porn.
Yeah.
ZV Bear on Twitter.
Yeah.
He shared that image. Swifties doxed him. And his government name is like Zubair Abdi. So it's not like he's Joe Smith.
Yeah.
So anything he does in the future, when people search him, that's the first thing that's going to pop up.
Sure.
Like
that's a very specific name.
Yeah, no, there's not. I don't feel like there's very many of them. You know what I mean?
I mean, talking specifically like in the U.S., like if he went somewhere else. He's in Canada?
Canada, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, if he was in Africa, it'd be a little bit different.
A little bit different, yeah, because,
Yeah, but he's, I think he's a Somalian immigrant, actually, is what they said. But yeah, so that was, we kind of covered it. We touched on it on the last show. There were some AI images of Taylor Swift doing some Oh, how would you describe them?
Um,
Lewd acts?
acts that would definitely offend someone who's a Taylor Swift fan.
Yes. Well,
Acts who would not offend a pervert like me.
yeah, no. I mean, it was they went, and we're not going to show. We don't show porn on the show, but yeah, so that you guys can. I'm sure that you can find them. You guys are resourceful. Go look them up. So there were some images of Taylor Swift that went viral, and this guy shared them. He didn't create them. These had been going. Or I had seen these on Twitter a couple different times. So this wasn't him, but he was the first one with a massive following that tweeted it, and it just kind of, when she was trending, and it was the perfect storm, and it just kind of blew up.
Yeah.
And so the Swifties absolutely lost their mind. They doxed this guy, just full-blown terror. And I mean, it was like I was telling you, he's a black guy, so they were talking about lynching him. They were saying you'll find your Derek Chauvin soon. There were monkey jokes. I mean, full-blown. They're a cult. There's no other way to describe the Swifties.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, celebrity, like celebrity.
Well,
fan
you had the
bases-
Nicki Minaj fans come after you.
I
They
did.
tried to threaten you.
I did, yeah, and you know what? I'm glad they did not dox me, man, because like I didn't feel like going through any of that. And plus, it's like I've always felt like fan bases are like almost like its own religion at this point.
It is.
It's just like, I mean, I don't know. I didn't do anything as crazy as like share AI photos of like Nicki. All I just did was critique her raps.
Critiqued her music.
Yeah, it's just like that's all I did. I never like went into like, anything like super personal.
Right.
Like the fact that she's married to like a sex offender. But anyway, it's just like but it's like, see, here we go again.
They're coming for you. I don't think a lot of Nicki Minaj fans listen to
I
this
don't
show,
think
so
so.
you're
But
probably fine.
man, watch. Okay, anyway. But like that's the thing is like I don't know, man. Like see, the thing is like I want to feel like bad, but like a part of me is just like I don't feel bad because it's
For
like,
the,
man,
the celebrity or for the fans?
for both.
Yeah.
Because it's like at the end of the day, man, it's like, man, there are far like worse things to like
Much worse things going
to
on in the
get
world.
riled up about than like
100%.
Taylor Swift. Like I don't think this should even be on like CNN.
No.
Like why are we having like what's her face who addresses like usually the
Oh, Karine Jean-Pierre, the
Is-
White House press lady?
Yeah, it's like why is
dyke?
she addressing
Yeah.
this? You know what I'm saying? Like this is not like a matter of national security.
No.
Like the only way that this would even be something serious is if someone attempted to take that woman's life at the game.
Right.
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But it would never get to that point. You know
Well,
what I'm saying? So it's like
She does have a stalker, and this has nothing to do with the AI. You have a hard time linking this to that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So she does have a stalker that they've arrested like 3 or 4 times.
goodness.
Like the guy gets bailed out by his mom and then immediately goes to her apartment and starts digging through the dumpster
Wow.
right as he gets out of jail. So I mean, there's concern that she's going to get John Lennon. That's basically where we're at. But that you can't blame the AI nudes on that. This
No.
guy's a nut job. That's an insane person. I mean, here it's like you said, man. Is it creepy and weird? Yeah. Is it a little invasive? Yeah. But when you sign up to be a celebrity and you sign up to be a public figure, unfortunately, this is what comes with it.
Yeah. If I could do it over again, I would just walk around with a mask on. Real talk.
Right.
I'm serious, man. Like I was telling my friend, my godbrother that the other day. Is just like, I like it's slowly starting to happen. Like, shortly after shameless plug, but I put out a movie last year.
Yeah.
Independently, and like I think it was
Tell people the name.
okay, so I put out this film called One Bad Night on 56 and Lake.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on my YouTube channel, and I've been working on getting it on Tubi. But we had a premiere for it, and I went out like 2 weeks later. I was out on a date, and I went to this bar, and I was just kind of chilling, and like someone had no idea who they were. You know what I'm saying? They were like, hey, love your content, so on and so forth. And that happened probably about like 3 times that night.
Nice.
Like a different. I mean, it was cool, but
Yeah.
like it was kind of making me like, because like
yeah.
I didn't know how to respond because like I just wanted just to enjoy my drink.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and so I know that there comes a time, like depending on how successful you are, obviously, it's just like you're gonna have people all up in your space, and I'm like, man, I don't know, man, like.
Yeah. Well, it's weird now because we've finally gotten to the point with this show where I'll get like social media followers that
Yeah.
just send me random shit to talk. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like I have some minor influence now. This is weird. But no, I mean, but unfortunately, that's what you sign up. You sign up with the bad too. It's not just the good. So the reality is, unfortunately, this AI stuff is here. There's nothing we can do about it. The cat's out of the bag. We're not going to put the genie back in the bottle. She signed up for this lifestyle. She signed up for it. We are allowed, as weird as it may be, people are allowed to parody celebrities' images.
Of course.
Yep. I mean,
They
we
do
did
it
a
already.
parody song of her on this show.
Yeah.
And we made it about, I'm sure she wouldn't be a big fan of it.
Yeah.
We talked about the ATF committing war crimes against people.
Yeah.
But it's within the law. So when you see the White House coming out urging Congress to do something about this, to pass a law that would ban this, I'm like, guys, this is a really slippery slope.
Exactly.
I mean, we're asking the White House to come in here and regulate media. That's what this is. We're asking the federal government to come in. We have this thing called the First Amendment. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but we're asking the federal government to come in and regulate media.
Yeah.
I think that's a really slippery slope that's opening the door to a lot of abuses going forward.
Well, also, it's like parroting. Like, they've done that on TV shows.
Yeah.
They do it on SNL.
Saturday Night Live does it every week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Family Guy, Simpsons, literally South Park.
Weird Al Yankovic. That's his career.
Weird Al, exactly. It's just like, so where do we draw the line exactly when it comes to what's like, because sometimes some of the parodies are not in good taste.
No, yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, they aim for underneath, like, below the belt.
Yeah.
A huge South Park fan, but, like, sometimes you'd be like, oof.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Yeah, no, that's South Park's
Yeah.
entire brand.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's with free speech. That's the way it's got to be, is it's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
So, like, we can either say whatever the hell we want,
Yeah.
and that doesn't mean we don't deal with societal consequences for
Exactly.
saying it, but... Or it's nothing. Or we live in a world where the government regulates everything we can say, and what's offensive and what's not is determined by whatever party's in power. And I don't want to live in that world. That sounds horrible to me.
I don't, man. And the thing is that it's going to prompt people to keep doing it.
Yep.
So it's just like, because
It's a Streisand effect. Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's like, you know, like, she's a very popular artist. She's one of the most popular people in the world. She's dating a dude who's on one of the most popular football teams right now.
One of the best players.
One of the best players
well,
right
not on my
now.
fantasy team. A piece
And
of
so-
shit cost me the championship. Anyway,
Sorry to hear that.
sore subject. Go
Right,
ahead.
it's not too soon. Yeah, but it's just like, so a lot of things, like, they just come into play, and so, like, you know, when you do that, it's kind of like you egg more people on to do it. So, like, you'll have trolls that are just like, oh, okay, well, they got him, but they're not gonna get me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
exactly. That's exactly it, and she's threatening to sue the app that makes the AI. I'm just, where does it stop? Because we're setting a very dangerous precedent here that you can't parody celebrities' images, and that's is like I said, as creepy as it is that people, and I can understand, I would feel violated if fake pictures of me like that went viral.
Absolutely.
But the reality here is, people have been taking celebrities' heads and putting them on porn stars' bodies for decades now. That's been a thing. That's nothing new. It's just this AI thing makes it, I guess, a little bit more of a personal touch to it, and that's why she's upset.
very realistic.
Now, I mean, if we're talking minors, that's different. If you're making fake images of something that's supposed to be a kid, that's completely different.
Off
I mean,
limits.
but these are adults. These are public figures. She's worth $1 billion. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
I promise it's okay. I promise.
Breathe, Swifties.
Breathe. Well, they haven't done that in I don't know how long. That's, dude, the accounts that troll the Swifties for engagement, because you can get paid for engagement on Twitter now.
Oh, okay.
So there's accounts that, if you're verified. So there are people like the 3-Year Letterman, Nick Adams, just general troll, that guy, ZV Bear, just general troll accounts that will use her name at peak hours of the day, knowing the Swifties are going to mob them because they're going to make like $500-600 off one tweet in ad revenue just from all the attention.
Man,
that
if
it's
I
gonna
made
get 'em.
$500 for that, man, I'd be trolling every single day.
No,
bro.
every fan base.
Oh
Let's
man,
go to
I'm
war.
going in.
Let's go. Like Nick Adams will tweet that Taylor Swift isn't half the singer that Kid Rock is. Just ridiculous stuff like that, and
man.
they take the bait every time. And my wife's in these groups, these Swiftie groups, and I joined one of them. And it was Taylor Swift Nation. I'm banned from it now because I kept getting AI images of her and Donald Trump on stage singing a song together and saying, look who she brought up to sing Love Story.
That's hilarious.
1 out of every 50 believed it.
Yeah.
That was the best part.
That's
Clearly
funny.
AI. 1 out of every 50 thought she really brought Trump up with an acoustic guitar to sing Love Story on
That's
stage.
funny.
Is this who you guys are fans of? This is what you guys like? You like support this?
You guys support.
Your favorite singer's a Trump supporter?
You know what's funny though is it's like you were talking about with the celebrity worship. The majority of Taylor Swift fans, girls in their late teens, mid 20s, right?
Yeah.
Probably overwhelmingly liberal. If she endorsed Trump today, they would all buy MAGA shit tomorrow.
Yeah.
All of them, at least 75% of them.
A
Would.
lot of them, or they would a lot of them would just get really emotional and start crying and stuff.
Cut
like
for
that.
Bieber, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Cut
because,
for Swift.
yeah, and because that's my thing. It's just why are you guys getting so flustered over a person's viewpoint?
Who
It's
cares? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's I don't know. Okay, there are people I'm fans of. There's people that I like, but it's just there are things that certain I've learned how to detach myself enough to be if I hear a celebrity say something, I'm I don't agree
Separate
with
the
that.
art from the artist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just because I can't treat everything that they say as gospel. So
Right.
if they say something, I'm I don't agree with that, but I'm just gonna keep it pushing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Kanye West, very talented musician.
Sure.
I don't think that we should kill the Jews. We can hold both of those opinions,
Right.
we can have both of those opinions.
Yeah, that's a very night and day
Right.
opinion there, right?
It's like we could believe that.
There's
That-
a
that's-
lot of things that I love about Hitler.
That's my favorite sound effect.
I remember when I was watching that at work. Yeah, and I text you. I said, "What is this dude doing right now?"
With his mask and his
Yeah.
fishnet.
Yeah.
that was.
I remember seeing that live. I was like,
It-
"Bro, when am I watching?"
I mean, when Alex Jones is the adult in the room trying to talk you off the ledge,
Dude,
you
I
should
knew.
get-
Yeah, I
get
knew. I was
checked
Kanye's in a different hemisphere right now, bro. Because that dude, Alex Jones, was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I mean, not to get too off topic, but Kanye's a perfect example that the difference between insanity and genius for a lot of artists is success.
Sure.
Because if Kanye West wasn't every artist that's successful
Yeah.
is 1 or 2 missteps away from being homeless and schizophrenic.
Sure.
That's if Kanye West wasn't successful, he'd just be another homeless guy in the streets yelling about the Jews. That's where,
Yeah.
and that's why we didn't cover it that extensively on the show. I'm like, guys, he's having a mental breakdown.
Sure.
I get it, he's a public figure, but he's having a mental breakdown. I don't think he actually feels this way about a lot of it. Maybe on some of it, but not on everything he's saying. I was like, just let him come down. I think it's kind of gross to cover people like that
Sure.
personally, but
Sure.
that's where I was at with that. But no, so anyway, the celebrity worship aspect of the Taylor Swift fans, it's just something I can't comprehend. And there's a lot of fan bases like that.
Yeah.
I maybe my brain isn't wired that way. There's musicians and athletes that I like, comedians that I like, but I would never go to that extent to defend their honor. She's got a billion reasons she doesn't need you to defend her honor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the best way you can quote unquote defend your favorite celebrity or artist or whatever from online trolls and hate is to just go buy their shit.
Sure.
And Swifties do a great job at that.
Oh yeah.
Believe me.
I mean, they got these songs #1 on the. I've never heard any of these songs.
No, well, she will re-release her music that she already recorded, and it sounds exactly the same. And that song shoots up to #1 and beats the original version.
She has a couple songs that I think are.
No,
pretty
I
good.
think she's very talented. I do. I don't understand a lot of the hate she. I mean, anything that's popular is going to get hate, but
Yeah.
I don't understand. She actually is a very talented singer and songwriter.
Yeah, I you know what I think the problem is? I think when they started trying to compare her to other artists,
Mm-hmm.
I know on TikTok there was a point where they were like, "Oh, well, she beat Michael Jackson as far as fame."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but that's the problem is when you start doing that, then you have people intentionally
Yeah.
disliking her music because you mentioned
Because
someone
you're bringing
else.
something. How do you even compare, though? I mean, Michael Jackson wasn't alive when social media was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way to compare. If you would take people like Michael Jackson, Elvis, I mean, whoever, right, and put them in the social media age, you have not only that, but with the recording equipment that we have in 2024, because that's another thing you got to consider, is these guys were using mics that, I mean, a rookie podcaster in his mom's basement wouldn't even use nowadays.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you have to consider. I mean, it's all perspective. It's like athletes. How can you compare an athlete with the training regimens and the supplements that they're taking now to somebody in the 70s? You can't.
Exactly.
There's no way to do it. You put those guys in today's game and they'd get destroyed. Like, that's just the way it is.
And when you do stuff like that, it kind of keeps people from like giving the music a try.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like for me, it's just like, okay, now I personally don't believe the whole, oh, she surpassed Michael Jackson because I've like just like the cultural impact of just the whole city shutting down when he shows up. I'm like, I haven't seen her do that.
No.
But the whole thing with me is like, okay.
Traffic does get nuts when she's in town, though.
Oh, she does?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
because we saw her in Kansas City because my wife's a Swiftie. Right?
Yeah.
Not a crazy one. She does
Yeah.
like Taylor Swift.
Well, and that's the thing, though. It's just like that doesn't take anything away from her. But
No.
it's just like, but when you try to be like, this person is not compared to this person, then it's just like, then there becomes this kind of dragging your feet when it, like you, like,
Right.
people just troll now just to troll.
Yeah, and I don't even think they're trolling her. It's her fans.
Her fans.
It's not her that they don't like. It's her
Exactly.
fans. It's
Exactly.
It's not like Ronnie. You know who Ronnie Radke is? He's a singer from Falling in Reverse. He's a metal singer. He's constantly arguing with people on Twitter, challenging people to fights and stuff like that. I'm like, no, they don't like Ronnie Radke because of Ronnie Radke. They don't like Taylor Swift because of Taylor Swift's fans. It's not her personality or anything or lack thereof that she's done.
She has a couple good songs.
No, yeah, she's not bad. I don't mind her.
I like
all right.
that 1989 album, man. I remember that. I like that album.
Yeah.
It's a good album. It's a good.
No,
listen.
she's talented. All right, let's get into the next one. I don't want to do a full Taylor Swift
Right.
episode. There's some people out there that I don't think the Swifties are big fans of the type of stuff we do here. So we'll hop on to the next one. So this is New York City Comedy Club. This is Mark Norman was rushed off the stage in one of the most bizarre videos I've ever seen from a comedy show. Let's play this.
Okay. All right. Uh-oh. Oh, jeez. Hey, how are you? What do we got? Migrants here? Hey, what's going on? Oh, jeez. Everything all right? Just want to make sure everybody's good here. What's going on? Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Hey. Anything can happen at a comedy show. That was some kind of weird swinger sex party thing. Oh, God. Somebody got tased. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, wait, whoa. I really froze there. I went Mitch McConnell. All right. All right. Okay.
What the fuck? Something's bad. Oh my god. Something's on there. Oh.
Everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine. We just had a momentary interruption. Just get up, get out. The taping. Guys, please. Can we get out or what? At the camera.
Yeah, I'm one of the producers of the show. Yeah, we just need everybody to get out, please. Mark's not coming back. Nice and slow. Everything's fine. But
Okay, so the club, New York Comedy Club, they released a statement this morning, or I guess Saturday morning when we were recording it. They said, we've received a handful of inquiries regarding a viral clip of our club being evacuated last night. First and foremost, nobody was harmed or injured. The disruption was part of a filming by Hi, the producers that rented out our venue for the night. So since this took on a bit of a wild narrative, if you were in attendance for this taping, we'd love to host you for an actual show for free. Please email us at their email address. I don't know about you. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. But I don't buy that for a couple reasons. Number one, if this was really a setup, I feel like he would have had better jokes ready to go.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he was in panic mode when that happened, and he's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
It wasn't really that funny. I feel like if you're going to set that up, you're going to have some hard crowd work jokes and stuff to make fun of it. I also don't believe it because of the tone of voice that the woman that came on stage had.
Yeah, she and that was my thing, is just like they technically didn't even say what happened.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They just kind of
No.
they just kind of skipped over that part.
Yeah.
And like you said before, like that woman, the way that she was
shook up. She
didn't
had
do-
no idea what she was
didn't know
saying.
what to say. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, is like, because when I saw that video, like someone on the comment section was like trying to clown her because she didn't know how to respond. And I'm like, well, you got to think about it. It's just like sometimes people in that moment, all the training in the world don't mean nothing.
No.
Until like you get put in that moment,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of forget it all. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? It's because it's just like,
Yeah, you can be the most cool-headed person in the world, but until you
She
get
was
put in a
shook.
moment where there's a legitimate threat, you don't know what's going on. You don't know how you're going to respond.
and Mark, he
And Mark's known for crowd work.
Yeah.
You know, that's like his thing is being quick-witted, and he had nothing. So that tells me that this is legit and they're covering something up. I don't,
Yeah,
as far as what it is, I've got 2 theories. I don't know about you. Do you have a theory?
I think he threatened to shoot that place up.
Yep. That was my first thing. Is I think the first theory I had was that he went on stage, they pulled him away, and he either flashed a gun or said, "I'm going to come back here and shoot the place up," and they have to do that. Side note, we've had that happen at a show before. The guy didn't rush the stage, but he was drunk and getting belligerent, and we had to remove him. And he mentioned that he was going to come back and shoot the place up, to which I told him, I hope you got a good gun, or I hope you're a good shot, because we're going to shoot back. And he didn't come back. That's how we dealt with it at our show.
What show was that?
Yeah. It was a beach house.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know it was at Beach House. But
it was probably...
Was it a roast battle, or was it just
it was just a
comedy
regular
chaos?
show.
Yeah.
Guy was just drunk, and the bar cut him off. And he just started making a nuisance, and I said, okay, me and Terrence Gawith said, okay, you got to go.
Yeah.
And the security, and we said, it's time to go. You're making a disruption, and it's time to go. And he's a little guy, right? And he's saying, I'm pretty sure he was homeless. And he was yelling about how he's going to come back and shoot the place up. And I'm like, well, we're going to shoot back. So I hope you're a good shot. Yeah. But, I mean, that was... Nothing ever came of it.
That's always interesting because it's like that's a. Yeah, I don't think that was like a planned thing. You know what I'm saying? Because like, Mark looked uncomfortable.
He was
like,
shook, yeah.
Even when you are like a trained comedian and you do crowd work stuff, like you can still get thrown off guard. And like the way that he like came up on stage
and just stood there like uncomfortably.
Yeah, he looked like he was gonna like do something to Mark.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, and like there's so many things. Like he stood up there. There was a woman at the end who had like a look on her face.
Yep.
Like a serious look on her face. And so like, I don't know if they came together.
Yeah.
I don't know like what the whole what led up to that, but it's just like I wouldn't go back to that comedy club.
No,
honestly.
and
you know what I'm saying.
And that's also why I don't think it was a setup, because I find it hard to believe that you would get paying customers in and fuck with them like that.
Yeah.
And cancel the show. Now, if you were going to set something up where you had someone rush the stage and you wanted to do, I think it's kind of hacky and gimmicky. But if you were to continue the show after that, that I could believe was a setup, and they were just trying to be funny and they did something stupid.
Yeah, because if it was a setup, they would have brought Mark back on.
Yeah, if that's exactly it. You wouldn't piss off paying customers, because now people aren't going to come back to your club for 2 reasons. Number 1, they don't feel safe there.
Yep.
Number 2, if your explanation's true, you just ripped them off. And even if you're going to give them a free show, and that's why I also don't believe it. I don't believe that they would set a time slot aside to give people a free show that had been ripped up. No, they're about their money, right? I don't think that they would do that. So that's why it doesn't make sense to me. My other theory is if you watch it again, so I'll pull it back up here.
Okay. All right. Uh-oh.
So the guy gets on stage.
Hey, how are you? What do we got? A migrant here? Hey, what's going on? Oh, geez. Everything all right? Just want to make sure everybody's good here.
Security comes up.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
And then that woman right there.
Anything can happen at a comedy show.
The woman... Oh, wrong page. So the woman follows him on the stage, and then if you look closely, there's another woman that comes off to the side and follows them out too.
Yeah.
So my other theory is that he was being threatened by those 2 women in one way or another. I don't know how or why or what they were doing it with, but that's my other theory, is they were threatening him, and he's like, the only way I can get to safety is to get on stage where I'm going to draw attention from security, and then some threats were made. Those are my 2 theories. I don't buy that it was a setup. No. I don't believe the setup aspect of it.
What kind of venue would be like, yeah, man, we're gonna like mess with these paying customers?
Yeah. Let's make sure that the 50 people in attendance never come back.
Never come back ever again.
Yep, that's hey guy. It's like the YouTube video. It's just a prank, bro.
It's just a prank, bro. Just a prank, dude.
Where they'll like go into the hood and try to buy crack. It's just a prank. It's just a prank.
You looking to get your ass shot if you do that, man. Anybody who does pranks here, if you watching this, don't do that.
No. Dude, the YouTube pranks nowadays, and TikTok pranks, it's so bad. All the good ones are done. Yeah. And we've resorted to just crime and harassment.
Seriously?
That's
my
what
God.
it is.
There was one I saw where like they would pretend to steal people's cars. So they would go inside their car.
That's a good way to get
lock
shot.
The door. Yeah, and they would not get out. And it's just like, so if you get out of that car, like you really think they're gonna hear like it's a prank? Like, yeah, you can get shot.
Yeah,
you can get seriously messed up. Like they could call the police and everything.
There's another quote unquote prank. Have you heard of the Kia boys? Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have.
Yeah, because Kia has some type of issue with their safety. So it's really easy to hotwire a Kia. You can. I'm not going to tell people how to do it. That I'm responsible for it, but they'll go around and it's like 14, 15-year-old kids and they'll steal cars as a prank for TikTok clout.
So, I was the victim of one of those.
Were you really?
Yes, I was.
Oh, you had a Kia, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you remember when
shit.
we were supposed to do that show
Yep.
in Lincoln? Yep.
Yep.
That was the night it happened.
Oh, man, so you know about them first.
Yeah, I know about them. I caught them in my car. So they didn't take it. I caught them in the act.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was just like, so I was getting ready to pull up to your place.
Yeah.
And we were about to go out to Lincoln. And so, like, I was, like, literally about to text you, I'm on the way. And so I look up and I see, like, you know, I'm parked on the street.
Yeah.
And I see my light on.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and then I hit the clicker. And then, like, I see someone move. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And then they just take off and they
Do you
just, like.
Do you still have the same car?
I still have the same
You
car.
know what you should do? You should get an Apple AirTag. They're like $25 on Amazon.
Yeah.
Sync it to your phone and then hide it like somewhere in like with the spare tire or deep in your glove box or something. So that way if somebody does steal it, you'll be able to track the location and they can just go get it for you.
Okay.
That's
I also got a
Life
Jimmy
hack.
Club. Invest in a Jimmy Club, man.
Jimmy
like,
Club.
Yeah, man.
Like a Billy Club?
Yeah.
Or-
A Billy Club or whatever you
So,
want to.
yeah,
I
yeah.
call it a Jimmy Club, but like a Billy Club. so-
Blackjack. Yeah, there's a lot of names. Yeah, yeah.
You just lock the wheel, man. It's just like, look, call it what you want, but no one has messed with my car since then.
Yeah. I have a gun. That's
Oh, I was heated, man. Because I had to wait for the tow truck company to come and get it,
Mm-hmm.
and so you know, so I was literally sitting outside with my piece.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not gonna just leave the car sitting here with the windows broken now.
And they already know. Yeah, like that's. I mean,
Yeah.
if you caught them, they probably wouldn't come back. But I
Yeah.
completely I mean, when my grandpa or my grandparents lived, they lived off like 24th and F area, and somebody broke into my grandma's car.
Yeah.
And the next night, the next 3 nights, my grandpa waited up all black with his AR-15 on the
Yeah.
porch, lights shut off, and I'm like, oh, you wanted to shoot him. You didn't want
Yeah.
to scare him off. You
Oh
were-
yeah, yeah, and
like,
just in
let's bait
case,
him in.
like,
Yeah.
just in case someone else is like, oh, I can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, because you don't know.
Yeah, no,
and
that's-
yeah, so yeah, shout out to the Kia boys. I hope you rot in prison.
got you. The
I hate
Kia
you.
boys got you. You
Man, I
fell
hate those
victim.
bastards, man.
You fell victim. Well, there's that, and there was the British TikToker, that Mizzy. Did you follow him?
Oh, yeah?
They would steal people's dogs and walk into houses and
Walk
stuff like
into
that.
houses.
Just complete. And I mean, it's just like, I don't understand where we're at. They've run out of ideas for good pranks, so we've resorted to crime and harassment. That's what it is. There was another one. It was these guys would go in dressed up as like old school, like 1800s farmers, and walk over to like black customers in Target and go, "Get that for me, boy."
Yep, I saw that
Go
one.
get that, boy. Come on,
I saw that
and
one.
I'm like, what are we doing here?
They
This
did
is-
that to Boosie.
Yeah. Oh, they
Boosie,
did?
yeah, the rapper Boosie. Yeah, so it's just
I'm
like,
sure he took that very well.
oh yeah, the dude got beat up, and then he called the police, and they arrested one of like some people in Boosie's entourage.
Yeah.
but which is stupid because it's like you started it.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, you
when
know
do
what
that.
you
I-
know
I-
what you know.
I don't think we should assault people but at the same time, I'm like, you play stupid games, you win stupid
prizes.
What
Exactly.
do you think's
So-
going to happen
Yeah.
when you go up and, hey, I got a new great prank. Take the cop's gun. There
Yeah.
you go. Run up to the cop behind him and try to grab his gun.
And the thing
Hilarious.
is like if you do that, you can't like turn around and then try to play the victim.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, I mean, everybody pays attention to the reaction, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like, but if you do that to me and I smack the taste out your mouth and
Yeah.
then you want to go call the police, I'm like, dude, that's
Yeah.
that's some coward shit.
You're the one that started it. Yeah. You either fight back or take the loss and move on. That's part of what comes with doing it. I mean, that's like what we're going to start. We do like some man on the street type stuff. If people freak out because it kind of is what it is, that it comes with the territory,
Yeah, and I think a lot of times, like with certain pranks, outside of the ones that are just like the crime stuff, there's
Yeah.
also ones that are just like not that intelligent. Like you just get like girls drunk outside the club, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what's your body counting?
Yeah.
What are the chances that I'll be the next one?" And
Yeah,
I'm just like,
yeah.
dude, like, come on, man, you got to use your noggin, bro.
The
Like,
the body count questions. You'll get these girls. I don't find drunk women entertaining. I find them obnoxious.
do you think that dude in the video was drunk?
in the Mark Norman video?
Yeah.
I don't think
He was on something.
He was on something. I don't think he was drunk. I think he was high on something.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. Are you frozen?
Am I?
Is your camera freeze? Oh no, you're good. Never mind. Sorry, that camera's a little shifty sometimes, so I didn't know. But yeah, no. So I mean, it's the YouTube pranks, and I remember the Nelk Boys. They were my favorite prank channel, and the one thing they did was they sat outside of this busy amusement park with an SUV, and they'd ask people if they wanted to buy some Coke, right? And they just kept asking people, and then somebody finally called the cops, and the cops show up, and they're interviewing him, and one guy's acting all fidgety, and he goes, okay, I got to say, there's a bunch of Coke in the back of the car, and they're all freaking out, and the cops go to open the door, and it's just Diet Coke. I mean, that's funny. Nobody got hurt by that. Nobody got harassed.
That's funny.
That's a funny prank.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay. all
I
right,
used to like this guy named Vitali, man. Before,
Vitali with the zombie shit.
Vitali, that was my guy, and then he just like started.
He's gone
flipped
off the rails.
Dude,
Yeah.
bro, like he
He's-
started doing like steroids, and
Yeah.
he started like it was more like porno stuff all of a sudden. Then he started beating up people. I'm like, what?
He's gone off the rails.
What
Yeah, I
happened
saw
to you?
he was doing a To Catch a Predator thing with Aiden Ross, and they were just running the guy down and beating the shit out of him in the middle of the street. I'm like, I'm all for beating the hell out of pedophiles, but I mean, again, this is a good way to get shot. You know, like this is, that guy, obviously he's a scumbag, but I mean, if you're going to get confrontational with those guys and assault them, you better have some type of plan B, because there was just a guy we talked about it, Bupak Shakur. He got shot, and his thing was confrontational. Like, he would walk up and punch people in the face, slash their tires, smash their windows out. And I'm like, you're doing the Lord's work, but I hope you got a vest on, and we found out he didn't. So, well, he got shot in the throat, so it wouldn't have mattered. All right, next up, we got Sports Illustrated is the latest victim for the Bloody Monday for the mainstream media. Sports Illustrated laid off its entire workforce last week. Everybody gone. That's been the trend lately. Is
Sports Illustrated?
Yeah, no, just media outlets. I mean, the LA Times laid off a third of their workforce. Every mainstream newspaper, even the Omaha World Herald, can't pay the rent on their buildings, so they're moving way out west. Yeah, that whole
Really?
building downtown, gone. They're moving out west. Yep.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, everyone in the news, in printed news, is just the chickens are finally coming to roost. And part of me is like, I don't know how I feel about this, because journalists throughout history have exposed some of the worst atrocities known to man, and corruption and government and business and all that stuff. But right now, a lot of these news outlets aren't doing that. They're carrying weight for the establishment. That's all they're doing is just, I mean, it's whatever the official talking point is. 17 different mainstream newspapers are all gonna recite the same thing and parrot it, and it doesn't feel like it's genuine news anymore. And you have to have a demand for your supply, and they've effectively eliminated their demand. I don't want talking points from the White House. I want you to do your fucking job.
Do you feel like they're laying people off because they're not following suit?
No, I think they're laying people off because they're not making money, because they are following suit. And people are finally like, yeah, we're done. We're done.
You know what's interesting is just like, as far as journalism, like, sometimes I'm not I probably shouldn't even admit to this, but sometimes I get my news on TikTok, and you
got to be careful.
It's a fish. It's like the fish from SpongeBob.
From SpongeBob? Yeah.
Like, he literally just reports what's happening, and I'm like, it's like, and it's stupid when you think about it, but it's just like, man, like, if this is like the best place to get at, this is what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Like, and that's it. No viewpoint of left wing, right wing, or whatever. Just, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
In
Ride
this
the
moment.
News is good for that too on Instagram.
You said what?
Ride the News.
Ride the
They
News?
just report
Okay.
it. Yeah, they'll give you headlines, and then if you scroll over, they'll go into detail on what's going on.
Yeah.
It's very unbiased.
See,
There's
and
no
that's the type of like stuff that I have. But I noticed that those accounts get like attacked a lot.
Oh yeah.
And they get took down, and it's just
It's
like
a concerted effort. Yeah, they don't want they want a spin, because I mean the mainstream media, Fox, MSNBC, CNN, all these companies are owned by like 4 or 5 people.
Sure.
And those 4 or 5 people, the elites, they have a direct incentive to sow division among people, among political lines, racial lines, religious, whatever, right? LGBTQ, 4K HD TV, all that shit. They have a direct incentive to sow division, because when we're fighting each other, we can't fight them. So yes, when you have someone that's just reporting the news, that hurts the agenda.
Yeah.
That hurts the agenda in a major way. Fox News needs to rile up the boomers on the right.
Yeah.
MSNBC and CNN rile up the people on the left. I mean, I remember the perfect example of it was 2018. It was Trump's tax plan was coming out. And I'm like, okay, I need to look into this. am I going to save more money on my taxes or pay more? This is as objective as it gets under this plan.
Yep.
It can't be both. It can't be a combination. I'm either going to get more money back or I'm going to pay more money in. It can't be both.
Yeah.
And I found articles telling me both. It can't be. It's a number. It's either more than last year or less. It cannot be both.
Yeah.
And both news sources from Fox and I believe it was MSNBC told me the exact opposite. But and then I had to wait and I waited till tax time and I made a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I had there's no reason. One of you's outright lying. That's all there is to it. One of you is lying.
Yeah.
There's no way to spin a number on a tax return. That's batshit crazy.
It is, and it's just like, and I think a lot of times when you try to get information on that, it shouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, I don't know if it's like an algorithm thing that kind of like
It is.
sends you to the wrong place.
They push things that they know are going to upset you
Yeah.
on algorithms because you're more likely to comment and argue with people, which more comments will push it further up the algorithm, bring more people to it, which means more ad revenue. So Facebook and Twitter, well, I don't know Twitter so much anymore, but I know they used to. Facebook is really notorious for this. For if it's got angry reacts, they'll push it up the algorithm. If they know, because they monitor your political beliefs, your religious beliefs, whatever, and they know what's going to upset you. Like they monitor what sports teams you like. They'll push negative articles about your sports teams to piss you off. And they know more comments are going to get more reactions, obviously, and more sets of eyes. So they're intentionally stoking the flames of these fires.
So I know that that happened to Comedy and Chaos, right?
What?
At one point, like like they were moving you guys' stuff like lower in the algorithm at one point.
They were doing that. Usually with Comedy and Chaos, that's our comedy booking promotion for those of you listening. But usually with Comedy and Chaos, we pay for ads, and they can't fuck with us on that.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's a fraud thing, right? Or misrepresent. Yeah. So that's nice with that. But yeah, they were doing that. And then we had another instance where somebody had gone into eTix and reserved all of the tickets because you can do that. And I understand why you can do it because, I mean, think about it. You got 6 friends, 2 or 3 of them are kind of flaky. Hey, let's go to the show Friday. Oh, yeah, we'll all go. And you want to reserve it so those guys can go if they say yes.
Yep.
But you also don't want to spend the money because you know that's like 50-50 that they'll actually go.
Yeah.
We've all got friends like that. That's most people in 2024, actually. And I understand the purpose of that, but these people went on and abused it, and they booked all of the tickets. So when people went to buy tickets, it said it was sold out. So now they're not even going to bother to go to the door because, hey, it's sold out. Why go? And I mean, we made posts trying to cover our bases on that, saying, hey, we're not sold out, but those posts aren't paid for. We're never going to get those people back. They're just out the door. They thought the show was sold out. They're never coming.
Yeah.
And we did good anyway. We packed the place. But yeah, so it's like that. We've gotten algorithmed a few times on there. It just kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
This show, we don't even post to Facebook anymore. It's not even worth it. They push it so far to the bottom that I can't even find it. We've been shadow banned from Spotify too.
Yeah.
Like it was for a little bit. You couldn't search us. If you had the link, you could listen.
Yeah.
But no one could discover us.
That's a very scary thing because it's like
they're picking winners and losers.
They're picking winners and losers, and the thing is it's like they determine who's the winners and losers. Like it's not like like a public opinion.
Yeah, no, dude. If my show eats a dick because people don't like it, great.
Sure.
I'll adjust or I'll stop doing it. Like it's one of the two things. But I don't want my show to eat a dick because it doesn't fit the agenda that some nerd sitting in a tech office doesn't like.
Exactly.
That he wants to push.
And that's the thing is just like with letting certain people go because they're not reporting on things or just shadow banning people or taking folks off the internet is just like or X.
Yeah.
I know that it's a small little rant of mine, but it's just like I'll be the first one to say it. I know folks probably won't like it. I mess with Alex Jones. I like Alex Jones.
He's entertaining.
He's entertaining. He's funny. But the thing is like he do say a lot of real stuff though.
He does. He gets some stuff wrong.
Yeah, he's not. That's the thing. Once again, it's like kind of like that. Going back to the celebrity worship, I don't agree with everything that he says.
No,
but
there's no one I agree. If you agree with everything somebody says that isn't yourself,
exactly,
you're not thinking for yourself.
Exactly. And so it's just like I like him. And my whole thing is like, yo, like the fact that we I don't know if he's back on social media.
He's back on X.
Okay,
now,
he's
yes.
back. Okay. At a certain point, he wasn't. And I'm like, yo, if he's not allowed on here, but like on Twitter, whatever, on social media now.
The Taliban's on there.
Yeah.
The Taliban's on there. There's pedophile rights activists on an app that allows kids.
You literally can go on X and watch porn.
There's the OnlyFans girls are a big problem.
Seriously, like it's ridiculous. Like you can under comments that have nothing to do.
I'm the hottest 18-year-old on OnlyFans. It's
Dude,
all over. It's littered. And
we could be talking about something else. I could be talking about a show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be talking about, oh man, I love Breaking Bad.
Yep.
I scrolled on the comment section, some girl.
You can break me bad.
Yeah,
they'll
I'm
do
about to
little
break
puns.
bad, titties out, everything. And
Yeah.
this is like she don't get her stuff took down.
And there's minors on there.
Yeah.
There's kids on there. Like that's illegal. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so if they can have this on here, then they can have him on here. And they can and we should be able to monitor, like, to like, yeah, okay, if you gonna lose sponsorship, then like that comes with the territory.
Yep. If
know
you
what I'm
want to
saying?
be a free speech app, Elon has straight up said that X is a nonprofit at this point. He said it's a nonprofit to encourage people to the free exchange of ideas.
Yeah.
We're not going to make money. I'm aware.
Yeah, and that's the thing is just like with that, obviously you're gonna have people saying off the wall stuff
Yep,
on the internet.
you are.
You're gonna have
Comes with the territory.
pedophiles. You're gonna have racists. You're gonna have a whole bunch of other people. So it is what it is. But the thing is like, so if I say something on my platform and someone doesn't like it, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to pull your advertisement, then that's just on me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
fault.
I can't go and be like, oh well, I can't complain to.
Nope. It
It's
is
just
what
like,
it
that's
is.
just how it is, but that's how it should be.
Yep.
It shouldn't be like you're gone for good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
I don't
mean,
know if that's
these social media companies. Now, again, I understand if people are like sharing cheese pizza, we'll call it that.
cheese pizza.
Cheese pizza. If they're doing stuff like that, if they're plotting terror attacks, obviously, that's selling illegal things, sure.
Yeah.
But Facebook or X, Instagram, whatever, kicking someone off their platform for saying things they don't like, it would be the equivalent of Verizon saying, "Hey, I didn't like what you were texting about. You're
Yeah.
done. We're cutting you off on the
Exactly.
network." And if we want to we don't want to open that can of worms because that's a slippery slope. We don't want to live in a world because it's not just tech companies. It's already been proven the government was colluding with all of these companies, Facebook, Twitter, all of them, to censor speech that they didn't like, and it directly influenced an election. It did in 2020. You had 3/4 of independent voters said the Hunter Biden laptop story would have influenced their vote, and they would have voted against Joe Biden. And you had documents come out that showed the Biden campaign and the FBI were working with Twitter and Facebook to push that story as a hoax. And now they just last week admitted that it was real.
Yeah.
The FBI did. So, I mean, they colluded.
Sure.
No, they didn't rig the election by going and stuffing ballots in the voting box, but that is fixing it. That's cheating.
It is. It
That's
is.
when you have intelligence agencies saying, hey, don't run this story. And they're colluding with, let's call it what it is, the two biggest arenas for free speech. That's the public forum now is Facebook and Twitter.
So how do you think they're gonna go about this as the year progresses?
In 2024?
We are in election year, so like how
It's
do you
dude, it's up in the air because Facebook's gonna Facebook.
Yeah.
I think they might be a little bit more safe about it, a little bit more cautious with what they censor.
Sure.
Given the fact they just got exposed pretty badly. But I think X is going to be a game changer because people are underestimating how important. You can't run an entire campaign on social media, but people are underestimating how important it is to have a ground game on social media that can come out and counter other people's points. And I think it's going to be up in the air. I told everyone in 2020, I said, Joe Biden's going to win. And nobody believed me. And I mean, I'm right of center. My audience is right of center. Nobody believed me. They said I was an idiot. I was a sellout, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was right. I told everyone. I said, it may not be under the most fair circumstances, but there's a concerted effort to plant him as the president. You saw it in the primaries. And nobody believed me, and I was right. It's up in the air this time because the playing field has been somewhat even with X. There's everyone on X. Everyone is arguing. And yeah, it gets toxic, but that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because the best way to combat bad ideas is to bring them into the light.
Sure.
Truly. That's how you kill germs. You shine light on them.
Yeah.
You give the person with the bad idea the rope to hang themselves, figuratively.
And plus, like this whole society was like created from like an idea.
Yeah, you argue. We argue. Yeah, we're flawed. We're human. Sometimes we get things really wrong. I mean.
But when you have ideas, that's when you come up with solutions
Yep.
too. So it's just like, so you have to be able to bring the thought into the light and
Absolutely.
then we dissect it. So when it's only like this is the only thing that matters.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, oh well, I'm not running for re-election unless like Trump is doing it. And so like, and his whole Biden's whole like MO is like, we have to stop Trump.
Yeah.
I'm like,
They're
that's dangerous.
well,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a
no, you're running against someone instead of for something.
Yeah.
You can run on two things. It's Larry Sharp. It's a guy I interviewed a lot. He ran for governor of New York. He told me, you can run on hope or you can run on fear.
Yeah.
He said, when you looked at the candidates in 2016, you had Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump ran on hope. And you can disagree with what those guys were saying, but the reality of it was they were running for something. They were saying, here are the problems, here's how I'm going to fix them.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton was running on, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's bad. That guy's really, really bad. Don't be him. And that's what Joe Biden ran on. And fear won in 2020.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Fear won. And it'll just be, it's going to be interesting. I don't take any of the polls into account right now. I barely covered it. It's fucking 10 months. So much can change.
Oh yeah.
But in a week,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not even going to talk about the polls. I mean, he's getting dog walked in the polls right now, but it's not even worth bringing up because there's so much can change. So, I mean, Trump could have a fucking heart attack. He's 80 years old and he eats McDonald's every day. There's so much could go wrong between now and then that it's not even worth considering. If they held it today, I think he'd dog walk him. I think Trump would. But it doesn't matter. It's like when they do those. If the season ended today, here's who's in the playoff.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, and your quarterback can tear his ACL in practice tomorrow.
Seriously.
That it's a waste of time to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think the best way, because go back to Kanye, the best way to combat bad ideas is to expose them.
Sure.
Kanye West, if you remember, when they were shutting Kanye West down, Kanye West came out and said some very specific things that have been theories for a long time. He said the Jews control the media, they control Hollywood, and they control the banks. Well, what happened? He got his bank accounts shut down, all of his sponsors kicked him off, and then he got blackballed in Hollywood. And people were like, hold on. You said the Jews control these three industries, and then all three of these industries kicked you out at the same time. Maybe this guy's got a point here. And I saw a lot of people saying, you know, that were in the middle, just rational people going, Kanye's got some points. Maybe the Jews do control everything. Then he went on Alex Jones, and Alex Jones gave him an hour and a half to talk, and people were like, oh, no, he's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yep, he's just nuts. He's just, maybe he pointed out a few things that were wrong with the system, but he's just nuts. That's what it came down to. If you let people with bad ideas come out and bring them into the light, you can expose them to everyone else and just stop wasting your time arguing with them. But if you let them fester down there, they're going to attract more people.
Sure.
They're going, like Germany. It's illegal to have any Nazi symbolism in Germany, to hold those opinions. Obviously, there's still going to be people that hold those opinions,
Sure.
but it's illegal. Well, you know what you're seeing in Germany right now is a rising far-right movement because they've pushed those people in it. And I understand why, given your history, you wouldn't want people doing that, right?
Absolutely.
But they've pushed those people into the basements, and they don't even talk about it in history, in school. So they push these people into the dark depths of the country, and there's a rising far-right movement in Germany that's a direct result of them pushing this underground and it festering and being allowed to blossom up into something much bigger.
So when you say like blossoming up, you mean as in like
There's a growing neo-Nazi movement in Germany.
whoa.
Yes, in Germany. There's a growing
because they're just
National Socialism. Yeah.
because they're not wanting to like
Because they don't even address it. They pretend, if you pretend a problem's not real, it's going to become a problem.
well, that's the thing, is just like, you know, that. See, okay, so with that is like, obviously, you obviously want to move forward,
Sure.
but at the same time, it's kind of like when you ignore like the past.
Yeah.
There's no way for you to know how to better like your future.
Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Exactly. And so it's just like, so when you try to stuff things into like a corner, like that never happened, we're never going to talk about it.
Yep.
Then it's just like, how do we like inform the future generation of being better?
Yeah.
Of making sure that, you know, these wrongs are never to be repeated again.
Well, and that's where it becomes, it gets tricky because when, like CRT, critical race theory, when they talk about that with schools, I'm not as hard on that as I don't have as hard of a position on that as I think a lot of people that agree with me politically do. And there's a reason for that, because when I see that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want the schools teaching my kids that they're inherently bad because their dad's white. And I also don't want them teaching them that they're inherently victims because their mom's Native American. I want them hey, this is a level playing field. Go out, do your thing, right? That's what I want them.
Sure.
But at the same time, I see people getting upset because they're talking about the Trail of Tears and slavery, and I'm like, guys, that shit happened. We have to address that it happened. We can't just pretend America is this great country that's never done anything wrong. We have to address the bad shit, otherwise we're going to repeat that stuff.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times, like, and I was thinking about this morning, is that I saw a meme. It was somebody put
a direct news source. Yes.
So yeah, I saw this meme. It was someone put the Wii Sports theme song over a bunch of like North Korean people cheering for when Kim Jong-un came out, because they were all like cheering like this or whatever. And I saw that and it was funny, and I was laughing. I'm like, man, they clapping for their lives.
Yep.
But then I thought to myself, I'm like, damn, they really are clapping
They
for
are.
their lives.
They get killed.
Yeah, they can get killed for it. And the thing is like, we live in a country that we can criticize openly
The government.
The government.
Very rarely can you do that.
You can't do that anywhere else. And the thing is that because we have those freedoms and liberties to do it, we need to like take those critiques and then learn how to advance.
How to fix it. How to advance. Yeah.
To fix it. Because like when we try to push stuff into the corner of this never happened, then we turn into a country that is just like we're robots, basically. We're NPCs, basically.
There's got to be some kind of middle ground, because it's not anti-white racism to talk about how slavery happened. It fucking happened. We have to. It's a pretty big part of it. We got to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know. But when you get to the point where the teachers are saying, "Hey, slavery happened, and you, white guy whose parents got here in the 1930s, that's why you're bad too." That's where we've crossed the line. There's got to be a middle ground on this type of shit. We can't just be one or the other.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's what we do, is we overcorrect, and the pendulum just swings too far in this society.
Sure.
And I think that's a lot of groupthink that goes into that. But no, and that's what people don't realize is the reason America gets drugged through the mud so often on the international scale is because we have the right to freedom of speech. The government, there are very few countries, not even Canada, Europe, they don't have it either. So there's these countries where the government controls the flow of information. So of course nothing negative is going to get printed about the government. Here, yeah, it happens all the time. We point our problems out all the time because we won't go to jail. I mean, it may not be as extreme as in like North Korea where you're going to get shot, but I mean, you saw it during COVID. In Australia, if you were critical of the lockdowns or any of the COVID policies, police would come to your door and harass you at night.
Yeah.
That was a real thing that happened in Europe to Canada. I mean, they shut people's bank accounts down in Canada. China was bad.
It was really bad in China.
Caging people in their houses.
Yeah.
Like building bars, like a jail cell.
Yeah.
And you saw that in Canada. They shut down people's bank accounts for protesting.
Yeah.
They threatened to come to their house and euthanize their pets if they protest the COVID lockdowns. Just psychopathic behavior by these governments because they didn't have something that says, hey, you can say whatever the fuck you want, and yeah, there's going to be some bad people. There's going to be racist. There's going to be sexist, homophobic, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a net positive because we can bring bad ideas to light. Sure. And we can expose them for being bad ideas, and we can expose bad things going on within the government.
Yeah.
So it's just very important. All right, let's do Ben Shapiro's rap.
On that note,
Ben Shapiro.
Here's some music.
Collabed with Tom McDonald. Do you know Tom McDonald, the rapper, the white guy with face tattoos?
Yes.
They did a song together. And it's the #1 rap song in America right now on Spotify and Apple. Here we go. Ben Shapiro, his rap debut.
I ask myself what would Ben do? Let's just keep it real facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man. I'm the man who don't respect.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars. You going to prison. I'm on television. Dog, no one knows who you are. Keep hating on me on the internet. My comment section all woke Karens. And I make racks off compound interest. Y'all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a Billboard #1.
This ain't rap.
So did you have Ben Shapiro starting rap beef with Nicki Minaj on your 2024 bingo card? He's at a loss for words. I love where he's got the oversized hoodie on and he's just sitting there like this. He looks like a kid that's like waiting for his dad in the cold.
Right. My dad said he was going to pick me up 20 minutes ago. Can I listen to that one more time?
Yeah, sure. Why
Okay.
not? Let's get the we already got the copyright straight.
I ask myself what would Ben do? Let's just keep it real facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man. I'm the man who don't respect.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars. You going to prison. I'm on television. Dog, no one knows who you are. Keep hating on me on the internet. My comment section all woke Karens. And I make racks off compound interest. Y'all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a Billboard #1.
This ain't rap.
I'm assuming, is he talking about Nikki Haley?
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj?
Yeah, he
Oh.
went after Nicki Minaj and Lizzo in the same verse. Thoughts? Comments? Concerns? Questions?
I feel the same way about this when I heard The Rock rap for the first time.
The Rock rap. Oh, The Rock. Okay, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
It's about drive. It's about power. Da, da, da.
John Cena.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Yeah, I mean, okay.
That's really all you can say.
That's all I can say, because, it's not like he's a rapper to begin with.
No.
So it's not like I can be like, oh, well, those bars are like this, and I would have done
I'm
like
gonna
that.
critique it, and here's
Yeah,
where
I
you
can't
got this
really.
wrong, and this
I
is-
can't critique it because I know he's not like a musician. to
It's a
begin
bit.
with.
It's a bit. They did this because they knew they were going to get clicks, and people were going to react to it. And that's even any publicity is good publicity. So
Yeah.
I'm sure 75% of the internet's clowning them, but that's got millions of hits in a day. So, what are you going to do? They're laughing all the way to the bank. Like that's.
There's nothing he can do to look cool, man. Like
No, he just can't.
He just has like such a uncool like.
He's got the IT guy vibe.
He's got the IT
Yep.
guy vibe. There's nothing he can do to look cool, man.
But
Like,
he knows it, and he owns it, though.
he owns it.
That's,
Yeah,
That's why it's funny, because he owns it. He's not trying to look cool. It's like it's
Absolutely.
clearly a bit.
absolutely. He could probably look cool if he got like a specific like stylist or whatever. But he got like that oversized hoodie.
It's a bit, though. That's why it's funny.
I've never heard of that other guy either.
Tom McDonald?
No. Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I've never heard his. I know who he is. I've never heard his music.
It's,
refrain.
a lot of his music's really political, and I'm not a fan of political music.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a conservative MAGA rapper or whatever. He does have one song that's not political at all. It's not even a rap song. It's called Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a love song, and that was actually, my wife likes that song. That was actually one of our wedding songs. So,
Okay.
But no, everything else is, it's
Yeah,
pretty-
because you know what? It's always interesting because like when you hear like singers and rappers and stuff like that, like who have like a specific kind of like viewpoint and stuff,
yeah.
and you can tell like, oh well, like his pronouns and stuff, like the pronouns bars is kind of like
Yeah. Yeah.
like because you like.
Yeah.
I know that like it's kind of like I know Kid Rock did it like on a song as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Oh, the Don't Tell Me How to Live.
yeah, it's kind of like well, I suppose I just feel like you the low hanging fruit.
It is very.
You can like write better.
I remember when Roseanne did her comedy special, and she's like, "My pronouns are fuck you." And
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I love making fun of the pronoun mafia. Don't get me wrong. That's lame.
Yeah.
That's low, like you said, low hanging fruit. It's not very funny. It's not very creative. A boomer on Facebook could write that.
Yeah, and the thing is like you just have to think more creative.
Yeah, you can address the issue. Absolutely.
Because I think a lot of people will be like, oh well, Dave Chappelle doesn't. Yeah, but Dave Chappelle like actually like puts thought.
It's
into,
funny.
like,
It's not
addressing
lazy.
that
Yeah,
it's not lazy.
it's-
He's like so. I don't know, man. Like that was that. I can't get over that, man. Like he has such a funny voice.
I
Man.
know he does. It's the IT guy rapping. I love it. All right, let's wrap this one up here. We've got one last story. So Vince McMahon has resigned as CEO of the TKO Group, which is the parent company from, or for WWE, after some recent allegations. So he's got sex trafficking allegations. How much have you read about this?
I heard about it yesterday.
Yeah, I mean these are alleged. No one's been charged, or we got to preface that. But
so all I've heard about it yesterday. You know, I heard that him and Brock Lesnar are in trouble. That's all I know.
Oh, I didn't even hear about Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so he's got so they allege in the lawsuit that he dangled a job offer at WWE and promotions in exchange for sex. He trafficked her to other men inside and outside the company, allegedly, including John Laurinaitis. That must be someone who's high. I don't follow wrestling. Who worked in the company's talent relations department and is also named a defendant in the suit. So some of the interesting things in here, he had named, allegedly, sex toys after wrestlers. And he had the white sex toys were named after white wrestlers and the black ones were named after black wrestlers.
Hey, girl, what's your flavor?
We're not laughing at the rape. I want to make that clear. That's not why we're laughing. That's just ridiculous.
Oh, man, that's what I got that Booker T ready for you, girl.
All right, you're ready for the big show.
Right, the big show. That is. I heard that you like to.
The Goldberg one's got a little yarmulke on it.
Man, I'm telling you. This is the Hulk Hogan. I heard you like to play with the Hulk Hogan. Like, man, like what the heck? He really did that?
Allegedly. That's what they allege. That's a pretty specific thing.
That's a very specific
That's like Stephen Hawking on Epstein Island specific. That you don't say something that ridiculous unless it happened.
Man.
You know, like that. What? You didn't hear about that?
Oh, no. I knew about that one. The reason why I just gave you that look is because I'm like, that was so weird for me to hear.
Stephen Hawking?
Yeah, I was like, what is going on right now?
It's such a weird...
Like, the whole thing with like Vince McMahon, though, that doesn't surprise me.
No.
Because it's like, I used to watch wrestling a little bit when I was like...
nuts.
Yeah, in my early adolescence. Like, I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was like a kid. But like in my early adolescence, I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, same here.
And it was just like, it was basically watching like softcore.
Softcore porn?
Yeah, softcore porn.
It was. Yeah, it was...
you know, so...
When they went from the WWF to the WWE,
yeah,
because it came out that they were fixing it, and they had to be entertainment instead of a sport, right? When that transition happened is when it got really sexual.
Yeah.
And it was. I mean, you've got, women dressed up like porn stars.
Yeah. This dude had a woman, I forgot which one it was, crawl on her hands and knees and bark like a dog.
That doesn't surprise me. And that's
for
what the lawsuit...
television program for wrestling, bro. So like this does not surprise me. Obviously, like it's alleged so far, but it's like all that stuff doesn't surprise me.
I don't feel like, and this is speculation, but I don't feel like he's the type of guy that would resign if there weren't some truth to it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the type of guy that's this is my company. I built this. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
stepping down. Prove it. I didn't do that. Yeah, I'll go to court. I'll be happy to do it. Mm-hmm. But I've heard from people like that know him that that's not an act. That's what people that know him say, is that he's nuts like that in real life. Mm-hmm. Like, he does strike me as the type of guy that's got, this multi-million dollar business and all this crazy shit, but he has like $60 in his bank account at any given time. That's how Vince McMahon strikes me. He just lives this insane life. And that's what the lawsuit also alleges, is he was into depravity and cruelty, which, again, not surprising based on things I've seen from WWE.
The thing is, with stuff like this, as stuff begins to kind of unfold, because like I just feel like this year a lot of like
it's gonna be wild.
A lot of people that like we've like watched as kids.
It's an election year.
Fans. It's just everyone is just. It's gonna start just getting like picked off, and
it's an election year. It's gonna be crazy. 2024. I mean, we're a month through, and what do we have? We've got Vince McMahon alleged of sex trafficking. We've got Texas about to go to war with the federal government. We've got Ben Shapiro dropping the #1 rap song.
The #1 rap song on the planet.
Yep. Literally, look up the charts. #1 rap song on the planet. Ben Shapiro.
He is going to go perform at the Grammys, bro.
Could you imagine?
Oh my God.
I hope he tours.
People will be like, "What the heck is this?" No, it's just so weird. And the thing is with this, because like wrestling, like there's already a lot of like controversy and stuff that's in
Yes.
the wrestling
Yes.
like community as a whole. So
Yeah.
obviously I don't know too much about it myself. I have friends who like they're all about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they know, oh, this happened and this happened. So this connects to a lot of people. So a lot of people could get strung up in this.
Yeah, there's
what I'm saying?
because there's a ton of people who are involved in wrestling.
A lot of
Donald
people are-
Trump being one of them.
Donald Trump. I
Yep.
mean, you
That's-
got John Cena, you got The Rock, and
The
I'm
Rock,
not saying
that's another. Yeah,
I'm not saying that they're responsible at all, but the thing is that these people are extensions
Yeah.
of what Vince McMahon
well, and that's
created.
the allegation was that he was trafficking these women to people inside and outside of the company. I don't know what that means, but I mean, you have to consider law of averages, right? Law of averages, like an example. The universe is how big? Earth can't be the only planet with life on it. Just law of averages, right?
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein was sex trafficking women to these elite pedophile rings. He can't be the only one.
Yeah.
There have to be more rings than just Epstein. He didn't have the game monopolized.
Absolutely.
There's no way. So when we find this out, it'll be interesting to see how deep this goes. How many people was Vince McMahon because The Rock, I mean, yeah, I know we hear wrestling and so it's just wrestlers. The Rock's a pretty influential name.
Yes.
That's a pretty big name. I mean, I'm not saying The Rock's involved. I want to make that clear. I have no knowledge that, but if it were somebody like The Rock, if it were somebody like Brock Lesnar, Donald Trump, people that have had ties to the WWE in the past, that's major news.
That's huge.
That shifts culture. That's not just a couple. That's not just a couple people went down as being perverts. That's culture shifting if these people go down, and it's more light on these sex trafficking rings. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. We'll be following it to see.
Man. Oh man, I don't know, man.
Well-
That dude Vince McMahon is wild, bro.
He is crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not gonna say that he did it, obviously, but it's just
Surprised
like,
it took this long.
man, it's kind of like it's you know what it is. It's kind of like when we were talking about the show, when I was talking about the Diddy thing. It's kind of like when you hear kind of the urban myths that go around.
P Diddy, yeah.
Yeah, like because there's always been an urban myth about him for
That
years.
he's gay, right? Yeah.
And that he will use that against people and kind of sexually assault people and like artists and stuff like that. And so there's always been that like urban myth surrounding it. And so now that stuff is starting to come out, you're kind of like,
well, it's like when you find out your weird neighbor shot up his workplace, and it's like, I can see it happening.
yeah, I can see it happening. I'm not saying that he did it, but I mean,
yeah, that's P Diddy. Who was the one that was dating? That was R. Kelly with Aaliyah, right? When she was really young, and he went down. R. Kelly went down. That was a big one. He went down. That was a guy with some issues there. The more I hear about that, that was. I haven't dug too deep into that, but I mean, it's just another famous sex pervert. Just why does that lifestyle attract so many bad people? Because they're not all pedophiles and rapists. Politicians, celebrities, athletes, they're not all pedophiles.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's a higher percentage in that line of work than, say, accounting.
Yeah.
You know? Amazon workers.
maybe because like the lifestyle is fast and reckless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like it kind of goes back to that whole, and obviously this has been going on since forever, but like kind of that whole sex, drugs, rock and roll, party lifestyle.
Yep.
You know, that has always attracted people. It's just like I don't want to sound like silly when I say this, but it's just like it's almost like we all have sometimes like that thing in the back of our head that like is like, yo, let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of that
Intrusive thoughts.
intrusive
Yep.
thoughts. And I think that sometimes it opens it up to those things.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's
some
why
people can't control them.
some people can't control them. And I think that like a lot of times you'll have people that realize that and they'll expound upon it
Yeah.
to try to bring out like the worst of people.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think also part of it, I think success is an addiction.
Yes.
And I think addictions go to different lengths for different people.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's some people, they make it and they're like, you know what? I got a hot wife. Maybe I cheat on her sometimes, but it's consenting adults. I got a nice house. I got a couple cool cars. I'm raking it in. I'm living the good life. I go on vacation 5 times a year to Greece and fucking all over the world, right? And my life's good. And they stop right there.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll do a little drugs. Maybe there's some extramarital affairs.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's their business.
And,
Let 'em do
and
their
then the
thing.
thing is that you start to think to yourself like, oh well, because I'm so successful, the rules don't apply to
There's
me.
the rules don't apply. But I think there's also people that take it a step further and they go, I can have anything in the world I want.
Yeah.
What can I like? What's the one thing that's not attainable? And that thing is kids. And I think that's what leads some of them to it. Is it's just like if I want to have sex
Sure.
with this underage prostitute,
Sure.
this is how powerful I am. I can even do the worst thing in the world
And get away
nobody
with
can
it.
stop me. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's an addiction. I think, and again, not all of them are like that. There's
Yeah.
plenty of people that they're cool. Like, hey, I'm checked out. Probably most of them. I'm checked out. I got nice house, nice car, hot wife, living life. Right, everything's good. I'm making millions of dollars a year. Living my dream. Perfect. We're done here.
Yeah.
And there's some of them that just take it a step further.
Because sometimes, and I don't know if this is like too wild for me to say, but like sometimes I think to myself, I mean, obviously there are like people that are like perverts and animals out there.
Yeah.
But then there's some that like I don't believe that they started that way.
No.
But like sometimes like it just gets to a point when you're just like,
Yes.
I'm untouchable, and when people
Yep.
keep telling you how great you are, you're
Yep.
like, yeah, I am. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
I
And
can
then
do
you
whatever
start
I want. Yeah.
you start moving around to like being like, I can get whatever I want because I am this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, maybe for me that's why I try my hardest to not pay attention too much to, oh well, yeah, you're this, David. I'm just like, I don't like
I've never taken compliments very well. I don't know why. It's
don't
like
like
even
that
like in
either.
school, like the teacher, like you did something good on a project, teacher would pull you up and like be like, "Oh, look at what." I'm like, "This is
Yeah.
weird."
Yeah.
I don't like I like doing my job. It's a catch-22 obviously working in media.
Yeah.
Cuz I'm doing my job and I like doing it well and getting more people to view and stuff, but I also if I get called out and people are like, "Oh, you're doing so great at your show," blah blah blah, it just feels weird to me.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think there are people that they eat that shit up and
Yeah.
they just think they can do whatever the hell they
Yeah.
want.
It gets deeper and deeper, and then it kind of like it just feeds into that monster. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. And it's like I've seen interviews with Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll talk about some of the guys he caught. And he's like, there's 50 to 60% of the guys we catch are savage animals that no business being in public.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and it's weird though because the other 30 to 40 are guys that you look at them and you go, I wonder if you just knew how to talk to girls if you would be here right
Sure.
now. If you just knew how to talk to women your age and go out to the bar and get laid or whatever, or get on a dating service, I wonder if you would be here right now. And that doesn't excuse what they're doing. They're scumbags, obviously, for doing it. But it's just a weird thing. So it goes that way with both the elites and the us peons down here. So it's
Us average people.
average people, yes, real people. I like to call us.
We're
That's,
the Y-list celebrities right
Y-
now. We're
oh,
not
we're-
Z. We just climbed one letter.
We're at least an X.
An X. I'll take an X.
I'll take an X.
I'll
right?
take an
I'll
X.
take an X. So, well, you're gonna get the That's Based bump and go up to a W after this.
There we
So
go,
you
baby. I'm here.
Do you got anything you want to plug? We're gonna wrap it up here. We've done like
Yes.
an hour and a half.
First off, thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely,
I
anytime.
love coming on this show. This is a good show, man. This is so much fun. I just started a brand new podcast, man. So me, my guy City Boy Don, and Metric, we have a podcast called Good Kid Bad Theories. So we just started it. So it's wherever podcasts are found. So just trying to get our feet wet. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we're like about.
I watched one of the episodes. It's really good. Yeah,
Thank you,
I liked
man.
it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just a matter of just kind of learning how to do them, get the audio perfect, get the
Yes.
visuals perfect, all of that. So just that's where we're at right now. And then I have a film called One Bad Night on 56th and Lake, and that's out on my YouTube channel now. It's on Call Me DTG. That's the YouTube channel, so you guys can watch it on there.
That's your X and Instagram too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Call Me DTG is that's on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X.
Don't
whatever.
misgender it. Don't dead name it.
That's right.
That's right. I'm keeping you responsible here.
Thank
keeping
you,
you
sir.
honest.
Yeah, you keep me honest. Exactly. You don't want to feed that monster, man.
Nope.
Got to keep that thing low.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So
you got any show dates coming up or anything like that, or no?
show dates, I do not.
No, yeah,
I do
kind of
not.
taking a break. I'm finally coming back into the stand-up realm. I've been, obviously running my own shows and stuff
Yeah.
too, but it's
Yeah.
like just slowly creeping back.
I'll
in.
probably start coming back. I just kind of want to get get stuff with the podcast going. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
for sure.
And get some projects, some stuff that we've been working.
We're working on some stuff. Yeah,
we've been
that's
working
good.
on some stuff. So like a lot of my attention and time and energy has been on writing. I'm more behind the scenes stuff as of lately. So.
No, I can relate, man. Like I got a family and shit too. Like
Yeah.
on top of all this, like I have stuff I have to take care of at home.
Absolutely.
It's just there's only so many, and I don't want to die at 75, so I got to or 65, so I got to work out. It's like
Absolutely.
So it's
Nikki Haley want us to do that.
Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley wants me to die at 35 in World War III.
Ah.
So that's because I got drafted.
Yeah.
That's how Nikki Haley.
And everyone else can just work until they're like 80 and decrepit and fall over.
That's what
the
Nikki
heck?
Haley wants. Yep, that's exactly what it is. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you buy from the sponsors. All the links are right down there on the ticker if you're following along, or in the description on the audio. Hopefully they won't ban us for that again.
Yeah.
Follow the socials. Caleb Isn't Funny, Twitter and Instagram. Caleb Salvatore Comedy on TikTok. And remember, cheat on your taxes, not your spouse. And as always...